OC Financial Media presents, in association with CHL Mortgage, as heard on KTLK AM1150, from LA to Orange County.
Your host, Dino Katsiametis.
It's about your real estate. It's about your money. From your estate to real estate, it's Money Matters with Dino.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino on K-Talk AM1150. We're here every Saturday afternoon from 12 to 1. And if you have any questions at all, give us a call at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment is brought to you by Reverse Mortgage Educators, and they are on our show today. The entire hour we're on, they're going to be answering all the questions regarding reverse mortgages, and all the changes that are coming due. I think either they are currently or they're coming due in January. Is that right, guys?
A little bit of both. There's some in place now, and there's some new ones coming in January.
Okay, so we're going to educate you on those. But quickly, if reverse mortgages, if you're not aware of them, if you're 62 years or older and you're having a hard time financially, you have to look into this. There are solutions for you, and as they call it, your twilight years. There is no reason to be living your twilight years in financial stress. If you own a home and you're having a hard time financially, get a hold of these guys. Their phone number is 800-800-2190. That's 800-800-2190. Reverse Mortgage Educators, and they'll give you all the options. They're not going to tell you yes or no, or put you in a situation that's going to be difficult. What they're going to do is they're going to educate you. They're going to explain to you how the process works. They're going to answer all your questions, and then together you're going to determine if this loan is right for you. So also, before we get started with all the questions, we're doing something new here on Money Matters with Dino. And if you want to know the value of your home, instead of going to Zillow or Redfin or somewhere online and taking these wild guesses that they seem to offer here online, I want you guys to know that this service is free to all of my listeners. If you can text the word appraisal and your address to 313131, I'm going to have one of my trusted advisors do a real comp check and get back to you within 24 hours. All you have to do is text the word appraisal and your address to 313131. All right, let's get started with everything here today. Returning once again is Ross and Ryan Kleis from Reverse Mortgage Educators. And these guys have been on the show a couple times. Normally, we don't keep on the same topic as often as we have, but since these guys first came on the show a few months ago, I have developed a real passion for what they do and a passion for seniors in our society. As many of you guys know by now, I'm Greek, and I've been raised in a culture where our grandparents mean everything to us. And unfortunately, I don't see that sometimes happening here in the States, and I see a lot of elderly that are living in conditions that they shouldn't be living in. And it's something that I have a passion for, and I don't want to see that happen. So there's options out there for you, and I hope you're listening to this show. And if you're having any problems, please don't turn the radio off. Listen to everything that's available here for you today and make some decisions to make your life better. You can get a hold of Reverse Mortgage Educators at 800-800-2190. That's 800-800-2190. So guys, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Dino.
Tell us quickly about Reverse Mortgage Educators and what makes you guys a little bit different from the rest of the people out there selling these loans.
I think that we have an approach where we come, as our name says, educators. But what we like to do is really open up the topic and stretch it beyond just telling you about reverse mortgages. and look at your situation holistically, maybe even with an investment advisor or other trusted professional to make sure that we are putting the product in place properly and that you understand the full power of what it can do for you.
And what's your background?
I've been in real estate and mortgage industry for about 12 years, and before that I actually did investments and estate planning.
And so I knew that. And that's one thing I really like about you is you understand the long-term effects of decisions people make in their lives. And you are able, even though you're not a financial planner at this point, at least you understand the situation people are in, and you can help them along with trying to make better decisions.
Yeah, basically, when you sit down and look at a situation, it's important to be able to see all the products or investments or things that our clients have in place so you can really understand how to put them in a better position. So coming from a financial planning background, like you said, even though I wasn't licensed, I was licensed with my security licensing and insurance licensing. And so therefore I have the opportunity to be able to help them realize what they have and what they can do with it. And that's something that we really share throughout our company. Rob and everybody that works with us generally have a idea, or they are encouraged to look further than just the mortgage at hand with our clients to help them make better decisions.
That's great. And Ross, how about yourself? What's your background?
Same thing as Ryan. We're both kind of cut from the same cloth, so to speak. We've been in the industry together for the past 10 or 12 years, and I just grew a big passion for the senior community. I've worked for some big banks doing this exact industry, and I just fell in love with it immediately, and I have no plans on returning from. It's a fantastic and rewarding industry to be a part of.
You know, Dino, what's super telling to me is last time they were on, I forget if it was off air or on air, but they were both like, yeah, we have like 1,000 grandparents now in Orange County. And, that's cool. That's very cool.
It is. It's great. I think it's fantastic. Well, guys, let's just get right into the program, because I know there's been a lot of changes in the reverse mortgage industry. So let's just start with that. What are the big changes that have happened?
Well, there's been loan amount reductions, which can hurt a lot of people in terms of if these seniors have a larger mortgage balance, the product may not be able to pay off that entire balance. And so that can hurt them there. They're going to be implementing at the first of the year some financial assessments.
What does that mean?
Well, they're going to be taking a look back and see how they've managed to pay their bills over the last years and how they managed to pay their property taxes. And that could open up our boxes, so to speak, or a can of worms to look in even deeper. And they may mandate some mortgage impounds where they're going to be paying their property taxes and insurance from the proceeds of the loan. And so these things, they're not horrible, but it can decrease the amount of funds they can receive as well. So these are some of the big things that are coming up. Initial draws, they're going to limit the amount of money you can draw within the first year. So if some people need an immediate fix, they may not be able to get it. So the moral of the story is you have time to be able to get grandfathered in before some of these other changes happen. So that's why we're just trying out there to spread the word and get people aware of all these changes coming up.
I want to quickly mention something about that as well, because being in the mortgage industry myself, when I have to tell somebody you need to make a decision right away, I feel like a used car salesman, and it really bugs me. But it's true. There have been changes in the industry that have happened, and there's deadlines. There's timelines that have to be met. So if you don't make those timelines, you're going to miss out. So for the first time, I am going to tell you, and even if I sound like a used car salesman, I don't really care. It's you have to take action. You can't postpone this kind of decision anymore. It's going to cost you way too much money.
Yeah, I think to back that up, what we've seen is probably an estimated 15 to 25% of clients who are applying now that will get turned down where they wouldn't have got turned down probably a month ago. And I was dealing specifically with one client, and she looked like she would be running out of her retirement funds, her IRA, in probably about 4.5 years. and she was speaking with her investment advisor. And not that, he probably didn't know what he was doing, but he said, look, don't worry about getting that reverse mortgage now. Get it later on. You still got 4.5 years to think about it, and so you're okay for now. Well, I had that discussion with her. I said, look, the changes are coming, and she ended up waiting, and she made it past that. She missed the deadline, and so now in 4.5 years, she's not going to get that reverse mortgage. So if you are thinking about waiting, or people are telling you to wait, call us and learn about the changes so that you can prepare yourself instead of just doing the thing, which is, oh, well, I heard or somebody told me, or
right.
Let's get the facts so that you can make an educated decision.
Yeah, definitely don't procrastinate. Give these guys a call at 800-800-2190. That's 800-800-2190. Or you can even look them up online at reversemortgageeducators.com. So guys, with all these changes, aside from lower loan amounts and all that, the qualification standards are getting a little bit tighter as well, right? What are some of the changes happening there that are causing it to become more difficult?
Well, what we have right now is a situation where when you get your reverse mortgage, you do have to make the taxes and insurance payment yourself. The lender's not going to make that for you. And as a result, in the past, the clients really weren't looked at in terms of how much money they're getting and discretionary income. So now going forward and coming the first of the year, they're really going to take a look more at what you have coming in. Do you have pension? Do you have Social Security? And they're going to make a decision for you on whether or not you can make your own tax and insurance payment, or perhaps they might do an impound account. Well, what that really means in terms of a reverse mortgage, it's going to reduce the amount of cash that you might get for yourself, or make you not even be able to get the loan because they know that you don't have enough to pay off your mortgage and have a reserve account for these taxes and insurance. So these are some of the changes that are going to be coming up. Rob, can you expand on that? Or is there
it's a matter of fact, this past week we had a client that got their formal approval from the bank, and there was a condition on there that we had to satisfy. And it was because the customer had missed a tax payment on their property, and they had to explain in a letter format as to why the reverse mortgage would help them in the future. And so it was a pretty simple thing to address, but that's just the kind of mentality these lenders are taking these days.
Right.
So they need to back up how this thing's actually going to help them out in the future.
What about credit? Does that matter?
FICO scores, no, but payment history, yes.
So they're going to be actually looking a little bit more payment history now. And again, this goes along the line with the fact that we need to make sure that you're making your taxes and insurance payment. And so in the past, where it was a little bit more, hey, we're not going to be concerned if you could do that. Now they're going to look at the credit, and maybe if they're going to say, we're not going to make you make that tax and insurance payment, it's going to be because you had a better history of making some payments in your account. So those are changes that are coming along as well.
Got it. You're listening to Money Matters with Dino on KTalk AM1150. Today we're talking about 3 ways to increase your retirement income with reverse mortgages. If you need to talk to me directly about that, you can reach me at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or you can look us up online at moneymatterswithdino.com. This segment was brought to you by Reverse Mortgage Educators. And once again, if you're 62 years of age or older and you're having a hard time financially, don't sit there and do nothing. There are options for you. Call up Reverse Mortgage Educators at 800-800-2190, or look them up online at reversemortgageeducators.com. We'll be right back after the break.
50 years ago, you didn't have any worries. You danced the night away. But the music slowed down. And now you have financial worries and woes you never thought you would be faced with in retirement.
I'm so afraid that my husband and I aren't going to be able to afford to live in our home.
Thousands of people have chosen to put a spring in their financial step by taking advantage of a government-insured reverse mortgage loan that turns the equity in your home into tax-free cash. You can use the cash for whatever you want. Pay off medical bills, credit cards, travel, and start to enjoy your retirement. Best of all, you still own your own home. Call now. Find out how you can qualify for a life without monthly mortgage payments. Call now and we will send you a free DVD that will explain if a reverse mortgage is right for you. Call the number on your screen right now. No obligation, just education.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Thanks for hanging with us. This is Money Matters with Dino on K-Talk AM1150. I'm your host, Dino Katsiametis, and I want to thank you for listening to the show today. Before we get going into the last of our questions here, I want to thank today's sponsor. This segment is brought to you by The 12, the12.com. And I'm purposely bringing them up and doing a little extra on them because myself, my wife, my sister, and everybody here at my office embarked on a 12-week challenge. It's a fitness challenge, and we all not only weighed in, but we got our body fat tested, and it wasn't about how much weight you can lose, about how great a shape you can get in, and 95% of it has to do with your nutrition. So we learned how to eat, we learned how to cook, we learned how to eat, and we learned the proper food combinations and the way to do it. And I'm proud to say our challenge officially ended here on Friday. And I'm proud to say that I went from 15.5% body fat, which by the way was already pretty good. But I got down to 9.5%, which I believe is officially classified as athletic. So I'm good. But my wife did fantastic. Everybody did great, and I got to tell you, their lives have changed for the better. So if you're in need of a little makeover, go to the12.com, THE12.com, and look into their program. It's really fantastic. I highly, highly recommend it. So here we are. We're back to talking about reverse mortgages. And, during the break, actually, we started a little side conversation. So I want to just bring it back up because I think it's a real important piece. If you're a senior, I know one of your biggest priorities is your children and your grandchildren. And you don't want to do something that's not going to leave them what you've been working so hard for. And many times you're afraid of losing your house. And we talked about that. You're not going to lose your house. Your kids are not going to lose a house. There are choices there. But Rob or Ryan, whoever wants to address this, can you talk directly to the kids out there that have parents that are seniors? And, for whatever reason, we've all had financial problems recently. And typically, the kid will end up ponying up a little bit of cash and helping with their parents and taking care of some of the stuff. But, they've all gone through a financial disaster here in the recent years, and the money's just not there in a lot of cases. So what would you tell the kids listening right now how they can use this for their parents?
I think Rob and I probably both have some input on this, but I have personal experience in family members and doing this for family members. And I had a situation where one of our elder family members was, getting on his years, and he was in his house that he lived in for a long time, and it was getting tougher and tougher for him to pay the bills. Things would come up, things would break in the house, things had to be done to the house, and he would been stressed out for years and years and years trying to make all this happen and seem like everything was great on the outside. And it got to a point where these things started to finally come out in conversations and over Thanksgiving dinner. And it was like, look, why are you trying to struggle to do this? Let's get you some help. And even I'll say it, my cousin said, how do we get this situation resolved? I'm not really concerned about the fact that I'm not going to inherit all the equity in the house anymore. I'm tired of seeing my dad struggle. So we put a reverse mortgage in place, and let me tell you, it literally changed his lifestyle, changed everything. And even my cousin was like, this is great. So for
Can I jump in for a sec? Because the first time you guys were on the show, you brought the sweetest old lady in here, and she told her story about what happened in her life, how her and her husband were broke, had no money. Their eating habits were not fantastic. They were not able to travel. They were not able to help their kids in any way. And they got a reverse mortgage. And tell us the outcome. She had a huge smile on her face telling us about what she is now able to do. Do you remember that story?
Yeah, that was a client who actually wasn't even our client. She was just somebody I'd met, and she was telling about the reverse mortgage that she had. And I said, wow, it's just a great story, and this is the stuff that we can't tell you, the things that I can't reproduce. So she came on the show with us, and she explained to us how in the beginning they were really tight. She needed dental work, as a matter of fact, and she was talking about how expensive the dental work was, and she couldn't get the dental work done. And the first things that she did when she got the reverse mortgage, she got her teeth fixed. So these are things that are just getting your teeth fixed. You wouldn't think that that's something that you would want to use a reverse mortgage for, but this is what it does. It really helps with just the basic necessities sometimes and taking care of yourself. And then she went on to explain how I believe she helped some of her grandkids with
braces.
With braces.
That's right.
They were leaving for a cruise the following day after the show, and they actually brought me home fish from Alaska. They had it shipped to me.
Awesome. And,
how cool,
and
that was so cool.
I think they were golfers, right? And now they've been golfing at all these various fantastic golf courses. And I looked at it as they're living out the rest of their years exactly the way somebody should. Yeah,
seniors are equity rich right now, and a lot of them are quality of life poor. Just don't let that happen, and that's why I'm speaking to people who are my age, and that don't let your parents live quality of life poor and equity rich because of something that might happen in the future with giving your money to them. Or, there's a million reasons why you could say you might want to do that, but just stop and give this, help them get to this point.
Yep. There was a report that came out recently on one of these various websites. In Q2, quarter two this year, there's $3.8 trillion in senior equity out there that's not being used for funding their retirements. And
wow,
it's a huge number.
Yeah.
And they have no cash. I mean, this is a great avenue for them to really live out their life and have a fantastic life.
Sure. There's something else too that we spoke about at the break that I want to bring up because it's really important. Some of the unfortunate things that happen with age, if you get to a point where you can't take care of yourself, you end up in assisted living, especially if your kids aren't there or you don't have the money. And assisted living is also expensive.
Very expensive.
And a lot of times you have to sell everything you have and spend every penny doing that in the final years. And the quality of life there is not nearly as good. And I know firsthand, and I'm sure all of you do, and I'm sure you listening right now would, if you were truthful, you'd honestly say, I want to live out my final years in my own home with my personal surroundings, with my TV, with my couch. They don't want to go somewhere where there's a bunch of other people that aren't, healthy. It's not a great place to be. And if you do a reverse mortgage and you actually receive an income on a monthly basis, imagine if that did happen to you, you'd actually have the resources available to be able to hire somebody to come to your house. And you don't have to put your kids out at that point. So a lot of times it's unfortunate. You think you're saving your kids money. You're going to leave them something. But what really you're doing is you're getting it to a point where you're going to end up being a bigger financial liability, at least to them later on if something were to happen. If you take all the proper measures now, you'll get the opportunity to be able to set up the way your final years are going to be. You're going to set up your retirement that way. If you have questions, please pick up the phone or at least write this number down and call later. The phone number is 800-800-2190. That's 800-800-2190.
And Dino, real quick too, if they go to our website, of course we have a very nice DVD that explains everything, and it's free to you. www.reversemortgageeducators.com, and you just fill out a simple form, no obligation. We'll get the DVD out to you, and then you can learn about it in the comfort of your home without having somebody, pitch it to you or whatever you might want to say. And then if you still have interest, then you can give us a call.
And you'll go out to their homes and sit with them and explain to them in detail everything, right?
Yeah, that's a great point, Dino. We'd love to go out and visit. We'd love for you to come into our office. And that way, we find it's a much better learning experience when we can speak to you directly and have some paperwork out in front of you and go over all the options and how it works.
And bring, if we do come to your house or you come to our office, bring family members and kids and friends with you too. We'll be glad to sit and talk with them as well.
Do you guys take blueberry muffins and fudge?
Always.
Always.
No 9% body fat over here. I'll tell you that right now, you know.
Okay, so the title of the show is 3 Ways to Increase Your Retirement Income with Reverse Mortgages. Give us the 3 ways. What are they, and how should somebody look at this?
Well, here's a fantastic way. One of the things that this program allows seniors to purchase is a 1 to 4 unit property. And imagine if they were able to buy a 4-unit property, occupy one of the units, so they're fulfilling their obligation of being a principal residence, right? So they're living there, and then they rent out the other 3 units. That's a huge income generating opportunity there, and they're still having a great house, their own home. They can have their own garden and all those things.
I love it. I think it's a great idea. And
It's
then
fantastic.
think about being able to pass something on to your children after that, leaving them a 4-unit investment property.
That's right. Because something else that some people don't realize, you can actually make a payment on a reverse mortgage. Use that reverse mortgage to buy the property because you don't have to qualify like you would for a regular loan. And then you could use the income from the units to actually make the payment on that reverse mortgage. And now you're passing on a very great piece of investment property to your kids. And you might not even have increased the mortgage balance.
So you can go out, you can buy an investment property. That's 1. Number 2, I'm sure you can take that money, go out and invest it in other avenues.
Yeah, real quickly, like we have a lot of self-employed clients who have their own business, and sometimes they need a little help with investment into that business to make it bigger, or when the economy is bad, keep it going, and the reverse mortgage can help you do that as well.
And in reality, when you hear that, I want you to know, you don't have to do anything with that money. I mean, in reality, you're retired. You could just sit there and enjoy the rest of your life. You don't have to take that money and go out and put it anywhere. You can just keep it in cash if you want, or I believe, and I forget the terminology, HECM or something, where you can have that money sitting and you only draw from it when you need it.
Right. Well, the HECM is an acronym for Home Equity Conversion Mortgage. That's the technical term for our product, reverse mortgage. But yes, you're correct. You can have a line of credit that just sits there and you draw at your will. As a matter of fact, the line of credit will increase on the unused portion of it a certain percentage per year, allowing for the cost of living increases and for the future. So your line of credit grows. It's amazing. There's no line of credit out there. And best of all, again, there's no payment on it.
Well, guys, that's the end of our show. And if anybody wants to get a hold of you, can you give me your phone number and your website for me?
Sure. The phone number is 1-800-800-2190. That's 800-800-2190. And our website is reversemortgageeducators.com. You can go there and download or we'll mail you out a free DVD.
Guys, these are my expert panel for today is reverse mortgage educators Ryan Kleis and Robert Ross. I want a big thank you to you guys for coming on the show again and just spreading the knowledge of the availability here for our seniors. And listening right now, if you're a senior, again, I urge you to write that number down, put it on your refrigerator door if you need to for a while and think about it, but don't procrastinate. Make a decision that's going to better your life. That phone number is 800-800-2190. I want to thank you for listening to Money Matters with Dino on KTalk AM1150. We're here every Saturday afternoon from 12 to 1. And if you missed any part of the show and you want to see it online, you can go to moneymatterswithdino.com. That's moneymatterswithdino.com. Thank you, Phil, for doing all the research on the show and all the hard work you do. And thank you for listening every week. You guys are the reason why I do this show every week. Appreciate it. I want you to remember, wealth is created by taking informed risks. Your future is up to you. Bye for now.